Yes, every infection in Victoria could feasibly be from the hotel quarantine program, which was terribly mismanaged in this state. Of course, this pandemic has hit most of the world far harder than it has hit Australia. The US is seeing a surge in infections. Here's the LA mayor talking about an alarming trend that could see the state plunged into what he calls the red zone.
The county's director of public health, Dr. Ferrer, said, quote, "Right now, everything is pointing towards an alarming trend." So while the city of Los Angeles' COVID-19 threat level remains at orange, we are on the border of going to red. It is up to all of us to make sure that we don't.
LA wasn't doing too badly until mass protests started. This was a BLM march in LA in early June. Just look at those numbers. By late June, California saw a surge in hospitalisations due to COVID-19. An LA Times investigation found that the daily number of people in hospital with a confirmed infection of the coronavirus jumped more than 50% from where it had been stable in mid-April. But California is doing a lot better than other parts of the US, particularly New York and New Jersey, who are disaster zones with the highest death rates anywhere in the world. But that hasn't stopped Governor Cuomo preaching to others about what's the best course of action. Yep, the man whose disastrous decision to send COVID-infected patients into nursing homes and that saw thousands die needlessly thinks he's the one to be telling the president what to do.
Trump's COVID scandal makes what Nixon did at Watergate look innocent. Nobody died in the Watergate scandal. Thousands of people are going to die in this COVID scandal. And that is all the difference in the world.
That's what you call weapon-grade chutzpah. New York not only has a per capita death rate that is 4 times the US average, though it has improved significantly recently, but still remains 4 times the US average. But the state is primarily responsible for the spread of the disease throughout America. Researchers found that the coronavirus outbreak in New York City became the primary source of infections around the US. Staying in the US, today it was confirmed that the Washington Redskins have caved into pressure from virtue-signalling corporate sponsors such as Nike and social justice activists and will change their iconic name, a name they've had for 87 years. They'll be renamed with something less triggering to the woke snowflakes who go through life looking for opportunities to be offended. But did anyone bother to ask Native Americans, not just the activists, but the wider population of American Indians, what they think? Because most research indicates that American Indians have no problem with the Redskins moniker. Indeed, a 2016 Washington Post survey of Native Americans in every state and the district showed that 9 out of 10 were not offended by the name of the NFL franchise. That research mirrored the results of previous surveys of American Indians, and yet here we are. The majority of Native Americans aren't offended, but that doesn't matter because race-obsessed white leftists are offended on their behalf and have got their way by bullying the teams through its sponsors.